Closed captioning for the Casey Malone Show is sponsored by Hunter Stevens Land Title Agency. Integrity, service, and commitment you can trust.
Oh yeah, Casey Malone is serving up local. It's time for the stories of our region, the tastes, the sights, the sounds, and the people in and around the valley. Get ready for some local flavor on the Casey Malone Show.
Today, it's the perfect Father's Day gift, a watch from Truman Company, headquartered in Warren. But first, we head to Ridgeview Farm in Kinsman, where the strawberries are ripe and ready for pickup, or pick your own. We're here in Mesopotamia at Ridgeview Farm. And Ridgeview Farm, right now we are in high season for PYO, that's pick your own strawberries. And Sharon Grover and her husband, you own this farm. How long have you guys been out here?
My husband Steve and I have been out here for 25 years, but the farm has been in his family since 1926.
So were you a farm girl when you married him?
Absolutely not.
You became
I'm still not a farm girl. I grew up in Warren, Ohio, and some days I wake up and wonder, what the crap am I doing here? No, I grew up in Warren, Ohio in a little postage stamp with my 4 sisters and my mom and dad. And my dad worked in the steel mill and married my husband, and then I became a farm girl. But I technically don't take that title.
You know, these are on the dirty dozen list for the organic people,
yes,
because, you know, there's no protective skin,
right,
you know, and you really work with, you were saying earlier.
We do very minimal spray. Like, for instance, my garden, which I have 2 of them going on,
Yeah.
they're totally organic. We don't use any sprays on them at all. For strawberries, we use very minimal. So when you get shipped in product, they have a scheduled maintenance that they spray all the time. And so we're very careful. Plus, sprays are expensive. And we don't want to be exposed to them.
And because of that, I mean, once you pick them, their shelf life's pretty short, right?
Very
You've
short.
got a few days to use
Right,
these.
we don't put any pesticides, and we also pick them red. So when you get California strawberries or strawberries from a different state, they don't wait till they ripen well. That's why they see those white centers. And that's why ours are so sweet. So we tell people, if you buy them today, use them tomorrow. Come back, get what you need the next day. Don't buy more than you can use.
And how long is the pick your own season?
The pick your own season is normally about 2 weeks.
And then the rest of the time, you'll just have them
We just pick
for
for our
sale.
store. Our store comes first because we have a lot of elderly that come in to buy them and they can't pick anymore. So we have a lot of customers that are consistent every year they come. And so we have to make sure we have enough in the store. Store comes first, pick your own is second.
What else do you grow out here at Ridgeview Farm?
So we grow sweet corn, and then we grow pumpkins for the fall. We have fall fun weekends. So we grow a lot of pumpkins, and people like to come out and pick their own pumpkin and bring their children out. And now we're getting the children that used to come 25 years ago are bringing their kids. And I said, you're making me feel old.
How many acres are here?
We have 101 acres.
Wow. Now, are you going to take me to the field?
Yes.
Because I'd like you to learn proper etiquette.
Yes.
And the right way to pick strawberries if you're going out to Ridgeview.
And there is a right way to pick strawberries.
Now, in picking a strawberry, do you take the whole stem or do you just want...
So what we do is we pinch it off here, right here.
Yeah.
And then the nice thing about strawberries is they talk to us. Did you know that?
No, I never. Are you a strawberry whisperer?
I'm a strawberry whisperer. Now listen, if you listen very carefully, this should pop. Did you hear that pop?
Yes.
That's when you know they're ready.
So you always pick just the bright red ones.
Bright red ones, but listen to a pop. Then you know it's ready. If it doesn't pop, let's do this one. Oh, that one popped. Sorry. All right, this one's not right. It popped only because see, that's not right. So they don't want this one. They want to make sure they're nice and red.
How do you make sure that people aren't wasting your product? You know, I mean, how do you do that when you just send them into the fields with a carton and you're like, all right, I'll go crazy. So how do you make sure that they follow guidelines?
We have 3 different pickers, okay? One picker is the experienced picker that has picked and probably has their own garden at home.
Okay.
Those people will pick clean because they appreciate garden, they've worked hard, they understand it. The second person you have is your workers. Mainly Amish people that come in and pick for us. We pay them, and because they're frugal and they don't like to throw things away, they'll pick clean for you. Okay. And then you have your third person.
Let's hear about this third person.
Who came out here for an experience, has either never picked strawberries or never grown a garden, so they don't really understand how things grow. So we try to talk to them as best we can about picking clean, because if they don't, if we don't clean the field off, in 2 days, that strawberry is going to be bad and we'll lose it.
Yeah, okay.
I love when people bring their children to pick their own, because children these days do not have any idea where their food comes from.
Exactly.
They play that video game. It's a farming video game on TV or on internet or whatever. Not a clue how it comes. So our favorite thing to do is teach children where their food comes from, because then they can respect it. And
That's
understand.
true.
Yes, because when children come and they have a lunch pack, sometimes they didn't even pack their own lunch. So they really don't know. So I tell them, look in your lunch when they're eating lunch. Look in your lunch. Tell me something that's in your lunch that a farmer didn't grow. And they give me a blank look. And I said, everything in your lunch a farmer grew somewhere.
The Casey Malone Show will be right back with more local flavor.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Bernard. I've been giving the people of our valley free advice for over 30 years, and my message has never changed. If you're involved in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident, don't try to handle it yourself. Call a lawyer. A lawyer will be your representative, dealing with doctors, medical insurance, and all the red tape that you may face. Hiring a lawyer doesn't mean you'll end up in court, and remember, there are no upfront fees on personal injury cases.
That's good advice. Need a lawyer? Learn more at ElizabethBernardLaw.com.
Family-owned Mayflower Woolham Insurance Group is your full-service independent agency. Our family works with a variety of insurance companies, so you have the best choices for your insurance needs. Let us find the right product at the right price. Personal lines, business, farm, commercial insurance, life insurance. Trust locally owned Mayflower Woolham. You focus on what's important.
We'll take care of the details.
Mayflower Woolham, close by with 3 locations to serve you.
Rulli Brothers has a great choice of quality cheeses. We use our relationship with Old Road Houses to specially select the product and then have it custom cut and packaged by our own local artisans. At Rulli Brothers Market, our family is in the store.
Well, I am here with Rude the Dude at the Magic Tree Pub and Eatery. Summer has arrived, and you have got so much going on, Rudy.
Yes, we do, Casey. You know, we're coming out with a new menu for the summer, springtime. We started a brunch now on Sundays, 11 to 4. We got the banquet room filling up fast right now for graduation parties and showers. We're going back to the farm to table menu now on the weekend, so supporting our local farms again. So again, we're getting back to normal again, back to what we used to be, and we're just gonna do what we're used to doing here.
They're gonna have entertainment out on this gorgeous patio, and if you need to know what is happening at the Magic Tree, just sign on to their social media accounts. Go to Facebook, Instagram, go to their website, but there is always something happening here at the Magic Tree Pub and Eatery.
Kamara Jewelers is the place to buy an engagement ring because we want a relationship with you that lasts a lifetime. Your commitment with her is the same commitment we have to you.
We want to sit down with you and teach you about diamonds so you're educated on what you're buying. We have the largest selection we ever have, which is the largest in the area, and at the best value. And if it's not something in our case, we could always custom make it. We can make any dream come true.
Get real, get Kamara.
Join the Isle and Purple Cat family. Employment opportunities are available. Given is living. Join the Isle and Purple Cat family. Employment opportunities are available at $13 an hour. Given is living.
An old bank has new life as Renovadio's Tap Room and Restaurant, featuring Columbiana County's only rooftop dining, craft brews, wood-fired pizzas, and more. Renovadio's.
You better come on in my kitchen.
Well, when you get fresh strawberries, during strawberry season, you know the shelf life is not very long. You've got to eat them within a few days, especially when they're locally picked, because they don't use preservatives, they don't use all the pesticides, and they don't pick them until they're ripe. So they are at their peak of flavor right now. I use them in salads, and I have a great recipe for a salad dressing with strawberries in it, and then after that I'm going to make my signature cocktail with
That's my
strawberries.
favorite.
I know. For this recipe, you'll need 1 cup of fresh strawberries, washed, hulled, sliced in half, 1/3 cup of extra virgin olive oil, 1 tablespoon of balsamic vinegar, the juice from 1 lemon, and salt and pepper to taste. Now for the salad dressing, I think the best way to do it is in a blender.
Yes.
It's easier, and then you can pour it out. Now this particular recipe is enough for really 1 big salad. And all I did was throw together a salad with some greens. I'll tell you what's really nice with this is a peppery green, like the arugula or something. And then of course strawberries and some toasted pecans. I did some blue cheese and a little red onion for the bite. And to make a meal, just add some grilled chicken.
That's right.
And then you've got your main entree. But let's start with the dressing. So this is 1 cup of fresh strawberries that have been prepared. Then we're going to add the extra virgin olive oil. I really like balsamic vinegar with this and the lemon juice. These are the acids, and it really kind of counters all that sweetness. And salt and pepper, we might as well add it now. You really don't need a lot of salt or pepper, but salt always enhances a salad dressing. So add a little bit of that and a couple grinds. I mean, this is super easy. Anybody can do this. So, but I really do like this recipe. Let me move this out of the way. And then we just blend it till it's smooth. Look how beautiful that is.
Beautiful color.
Oh my gosh. Doesn't that look beautiful?
It smells even better.
You gotta give it a taste. I want to see what you think. I don't think you've had my salad dressing yet.
Oh, that's delicious.
Isn't it? You could drink
You
it.
could just eat it. Put some ice cubes in there. And
you know, depending on how much dressing, this is a good cup of dressing. And then you just take it and pour it over your salad. Doesn't that look good? All right, so you are gonna love this drink. This is a really refreshing drink. You like Tom Collins?
I do, Doug.
Now, I have a little quiz, Mom.
Yes.
If it's a John Collins, what is the alcohol?
A bourbon.
Very good.
That's because I like bourbon.
And then when you use vodka, it's just a vodka Collins.
Yes.
They don't have a cute name for it.
No.
But a John Collins is with bourbon.
When I was younger, Tom Collins was the summer drink.
It was.
Really was.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you, it is refreshing. And the strawberry makes it really nice. So here is what we're gonna do. This is enough for 2 cocktails. And we have our Collins glasses, which are usually tall and thin. And we're just gonna put the strawberries, another cup, back into the blender. And for just a hint of sweetness, and even though the strawberries are naturally sweet, I add a little agave instead of like a simple syrup, a little agave nectar. So what we're gonna do is basically the same thing we just saw. And all I'm gonna do is puree it again. And you see how quickly it goes. And we're gonna divide it equally between the 2 glasses. We are going to split the juice from 1 lime equally. Okay. And then for this drink, and I always recommend, please, please, please use your measuring because, you know. Okay, so I'm gonna do 3 ounces of gin. So we'll split that 1.5 ounces each. Okay? So, Mom, give it a whirl. we're going to add a little club soda. There you go, and finish it off. Stir a little bit more. See?
Isn't that beautiful?
Beautiful drink. And we'll garnish them with a little strawberry right there. I slid them, but I don't know if I can get it on. That's kind of fancy, isn't it?
It is.
All right, so what do you think?
Nastrovia.
Cheers.
Oh, Casey.
Isn't that delicious?
That's delicious.
It is such a summer refresher. Oh my. That is delicious. Go to my website, caseymaloneshow.com, and you'll have the recipe for the fresh strawberry dressing and for the Tom Collins with fresh strawberries. And
Here's to us.
Here's to us. None better. Cheers. The Casey Malone Show will be right back with more local flavor.
To own a business where your name's on the window can be pretty cool. That's my family. My name is Danny Catullo, and I'm the owner of Catullo Prime Meats. My grandfather started the business in 1962. I was able to take our old style butcher shop and bring it out to the new age using e-commerce to get our products to more customers. When we started shipping, there was not a ton of information out there. That's where we really worked with FedEx so they could be able to help us with our perishable shipping. We were taking on new purchases that we never had to make before. Boxes, coolers, ice packs, anything that was involved around shipping. So we can no longer do this with the cash that we had on hand. So because of the Plum Card from American Express and all of its benefits, it was a natural fit to help grow our business. And when someone calls and lets you know that you made their dinner, that's satisfaction that you can't get anywhere else.
This historic bank in East Liverpool has found new life as Renovadio's Tap Room and Restaurant, featuring Columbiana County's only rooftop dining, weekly live music, craft brews, top shelf bourbon, and wood-fired pizzas. Experience Renovadios.
R&S Paint is a locally owned paint store and not a paint department. Inspiration comes easy when choosing exciting Benjamin Moore colors and finish. Over 3,400 vibrant and durable colors are yours at R&S Paint.
So you're looking to enhance your garage floor.
Absolutely.
Get rid of cracked and stained concrete. Even out your garage floor with Pebblestone, the best concrete covering. Here's your new floor. Ta-da! Pebblestone is made with natural stone and the strongest man-made binder. It's easy to clean, withstands moisture, and adds value to your home.
Isn't this incredible?
I love it. Call now and receive 50% off select colors. Trust the Valley's own Pebblestone.
Rulli Brothers is way ahead of the competition. Check out Rulli Spice World, where you can buy bulk herbs and spices, plus candies, nuts, and fillings for pennies on the dollar. At Rulli Brothers Market, our family is in the store.
I've been really looking forward to meeting Greg Toom. This is Augie's brother, and you know, Augie from the bike shop, well, he is the watch master, and I own a Greg Toom original right here from Gruen, and I wore it today. Wonderful. And now you have your own watch company.
Yeah, I spent my life in the watch business, and after 37 years working for other companies, I decided to retire from corporate life and start my own business with my son, Greg.
You are strictly online. You know, this is not like a watch shop that you come in. I mean, you have a big online presence, and is that just the way the market goes?
Well, we think that brick and mortar shopping is important, but it's COVID-19 and consumer habits have changed where the Gen Z millennial consumers not as crazy about walking into a department store with 26 different departments. They'd rather shop in a boutique environment where something specific to what they're looking for is available. I decided to make an exclusive launch for Toom & Company on the internet for those reasons and a few other ones.
What makes Toom & Company a better watch?
We're not a discount brand. We invented the brand to provide a consumer product that is uniquely designed. We're not selling knockoffs of famous brands.
Yes.
We created Toom & Company's design from scratch, not just the watch finished product, but the components themselves. We spent, in some cases, years, but let's say the grand sum of what we've developed is in our launch line. So we use material science. A lot of my experiences in the industry, I say every trick of my trick bag I've used to present to the customer a highly durable, high quality watch at a price that is untouchable by my competition.
You are involved with the components, the design, the casing, and you even do the engraving. I think that's kind of a little special touch that every watch ordered gets engraved if they so choose to have something put on the back.
Well, we figured that since we are a micro brand and we're selling something that is unique in its own design and how it's built and what it's built from, so we felt that by personalizing it with world-class engraving, this machine back here is, please, anyone who's listening, Google FOBA and you could read about the Rolls-Royce of engraving machines to put a personal message on the back. The women's watch can handle up to 28 characters, and the men's watch is large enough that it can handle 32 characters.
How did you come up with the specific size and the face and in that design element, because obviously you have an eye for design? How did you decide upon this for your initial launch?
Well, my research was about what is the most popular size watch for a woman and the most popular size watch for a man. But we chose a design that's lugless, meaning there's no ears sticking out from the watch case to hold the strap, which makes the watch have a super unique visual look.
I see. Okay.
And also, it lays on the wrist in an entirely different way than a watch that has lugs.
We mentioned your brands, Boulevard, Fossil, Gruen, when you did the design work. What is it that appeals to you about watches? I mean, you went to school, you for 3 years learning how to repair, make, fix. What is it about timepieces?
Well, I think the best way of answering your question really goes way back to the beginning. When I was a teenager, I think just like every young boy trying to figure out a way of getting close to his father, my dad, he collected watches and clocks as a hobby. And so I went to antique shows, estate sales, flea markets, wherever there was old items for sale, just as a way of doing something together with him. And then I, through doing that, got the bug. And after 2 years at Ohio State, I quit college, went to watchmaking school instead for 3 years, got a degree in watchmaking, and then started from there.
With your son and you running this business, do you see new designs coming out? Do you already have a, template in your head about what you'd like to introduce next?
Our wheels are turning continuously on new trending colors. Just like I had mentioned, we have colors for spring. This Biscayne green and the rose gold watches over here with the orange. Those were introduced for spring of this year. And we'll introduce 2 new introductions for fall in the men's and 2 introductions for women. Basically, line extensions from the launch collections.
I mean, really interesting that Warren, Ohio, right now is the world headquarters for Tuman Company. Right here, the world headquarters, right here in Trumbull County, and beautiful watches, they really are.
Thank you.
Well, you remember Augie Toom. It's been a while since you've been on the show.
It's been a while.
And the bike business has really blown up since COVID.
Oh, for sure.
Because you were saying, man, nobody wants to buy bikes. Everyone's inside watching what you think it was video games.
I don't know. Last year was the biggest year we ever had.
In the history of Toom's bikes.
And this year is bigger than last year. So.
What did you see? Entire families coming in and just buying one? Mom, dad,
oh, that happens
sister,
a lot.
brother?
Happens a lot, or just bikes for the kids. But yeah, multiple sales are sort of the rule of thumb. The e-bikes have just flown off the shelves.
What's the e-bike? Tell me about that. We got to go look at one of those. So I don't have to pedal?
You have to pedal. It works like power steering in your car. You have to turn the steering wheel, but the pump makes it easier to turn the steering wheel. Well, you have to turn the pedals, but the assist module makes it easier to turn.
You have one?
Oh yeah.
And you highly recommend it? Does it need gas?
Hamburgers. Use a lot of hamburgers.
And don't forget, we've got Greg right there in the back.
That's right.
See, there you oh, there's Greg Square. We got two Gregs there. Look at him. Say hey, Greg. Bill's buddy. Hubbard guy. Hubbard in the house. Right here at Tubes. The Casey Malone Show is sponsored in part by Denise and John York and the DeBartolo Corporation.